This week, things are going to be pretty geeky. A couple days ago, iOS 7 launched. Like 200 million people have already installed it. So that's kind of the thing at the forefront of what's going on right now for me. I've been making a lot of tutorial videos around it, which you can check out right around here. Anyways, those videos are to help people get acclimated to iOS 7. There's also a security issue with the control center if you use a passcode. So if you're using a passcode, make sure you disable the control center, because people can access your photos, your photo roll, and they can share them to their social networks. They can delete them. You don't want that to happen. There's a video I made. I'll put it right around here ish. You can check out some more details around what that security breach is all about, how to actually do it, how you can get into the photos on a locked phone, and how to protect yourself. So check that out. Overall, I've been enjoying iOS 7. It's not as difficult a change as everyone was afraid it was going to be. It's mostly aesthetic. Most things still work the same. There's a few things that are different here and there, and it's just a matter of getting used to that. I mean, that's the way technology works, and I imagine within a couple of months, pretty much everybody's going to be on iOS 7. So the big thing for me as a pizza delivery driver is that this is my all-in-one everything. It's my phone to contact customers if I can't find their house. More specifically, it's my GPS to get to where I'm going. So with the new iOS, there's an update to Apple Maps, which I had given up on last year when it came out, because it took me to completely the wrong side of a valley when I was looking for somebody's house. So that cost me like a half an hour of running in circles. And at that point, I decided I was done with Apple Maps. Well, now the refresh is out, and I figured I'd give it another try. I've been using it since Thursday for pizza delivery, and it's been all right. I haven't had any major flaws, but there's some things I really like about it. If you get into Maps, you can get in there. You can search for a place. I'm going to be going to Milton, Vermont in a couple weeks, so I can search that up and see where it's at. Hit start. And starting route to Milton. Well, there you go. So this is cool. The downside is I can't pinch to zoom very far. I can't pull out. The only way that I can pull out is if I tap on the screen, then hit overview, and I have a huge view of the map, and then I can zoom back in and try to figure out where it is exactly that I'm going. That's really obnoxious. With Google Maps app, in the middle of driving, not in the middle of driving, don't touch your phone while you're driving. You can be anywhere along the route and you just pinch and you can see what's going on. This, you have to be in the overview mode. You can't be in process. I don't know what the deal is with that. Kind of annoying, but I can live with it. The instructions are really clear. It tells you in huge letters how far you have to go and then what you're doing. And what's really cool for me is at night it knows that it's dark out, and so it changes the colors to a darker color set, so it's not as glaring, which means that I don't have to reduce my brightness as much, which is kind of cool. I don't have to keep playing around with that as I go in and out of buildings and stuff. That's a really amazing feature, and like that feature alone makes me want to keep using Apple Maps. So I like the user interface. It's nice. The one thing that I really don't like about it is that you can't pinch to zoom in the middle of navigation. You have to multiple steps to get to where you want to be. Apple Maps also has some traffic features. I haven't really experienced them yet. Like I said, 15 hours. There haven't been really any traffic jams or accidents. Now, the real question when it comes to any sort of mapping application, and the reason that I stopped using Apple Maps in the first place, is it accurate? Of probably 30 deliveries, there has been one that it was way off. Luckily, I knew where the place was, so I plugged the information into Apple Maps because I wanted it to be part of my testing, and I started down the road and went to where I was going. It didn't even have the street right. It thought I was on the correct street at the house, and it was telling me to turn around, go back. You know, I was 1,000 feet off from where I was supposed to be for where the street was. Apple Maps had no idea where I was. There have been a couple of other times where it's been a little bit unsure as to where exactly I am, and it'll tell me to return to the route. That's kind of a standard GPS thing. I've seen that happen with other stuff. The nice thing is there are roads around here where you have to get off on your side of the street. It's not really a highway, but it works kind of like that, where there's an exit on your side of the street. Google Maps always tries to send me down the wrong side because it's the closer side. You know, when, oh, take a left here. Oh, through that do not enter sign. Thanks, Google Maps. Apple Maps always sends me the right way, which is really cool. The catch is Google Maps has definitely shown itself to be more accurate than Apple Maps in terms of knowing where I'm at and knowing where things are. So when we go up to Milton, Vermont, I want to use Apple Maps just to see how it does through the long trip, and especially with the traffic. You know, I don't know if we're going through Connecticut or New York yet. There's bound to be some sort of traffic issue, so I'd like to see that in action. Now, I'm probably going to buy an atlas before we leave. That way, if Apple Maps fails, I'm not just stranded, you know, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, Vermont, where there's no cell service and we're just going to drive in circles. I did that once with an Android. Google Maps forced closed, and we had no service in the middle of nowhere. It was pretty rough. It was like 2 a.m. too, so it was no fun. So overall, the user interface is better than it was. I want to use Apple Maps now. The night feature in particular, where the colors change to darker colors so there's not as much glare, is a huge thing for me. I love that feature. But I can't recommend using it unless you're in an area where you know the area fairly well, and if the thing screws up, you can, you know, find your way, or if you're going to have cell service for sure, so if it sends you to the wrong place, you can switch to Google Maps. And if that's the case, really it's tough to say that you should use Apple Maps over Google Maps. The one thing, again, being if you're going to be driving at night, the darker colors are really nice. So it's not something I would really rely on 100%. And if you're going to use only one GPS application, Google Maps is still predominantly better. Other than that, you know, I'm enjoying iOS 7. I know a lot of people have been afraid of it, or a lot of people haven't liked the new look. What are your thoughts about iOS 7 if you're using any sort of Apple device that you can update? Have you updated yet? Are you waiting? Yeah. Say boom.
Boom. Say boom.
Say boom.
You hear the check. Say bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.